Hi there, hope you have an awesome day today. This lesson, I'm going to teach you how to graph circles. So let's go straight into it. First one, so we need to graph this circle showing radius, center, x and y intercepts. Now to graph this, first thing we need to remember that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So that is a general rule for a circle. So the center is 0, 0 and the radius is r. So therefore, we need to convert this component here into perfect square, and then we need to convert this into perfect square as well. So to make it x squared plus 2x into perfect square, so what we do is we just half the coefficient of x, so which is 2. So half of 2 is 1. So I just write this down first. So which is x plus half of 2 is 1. So 1 squared. But then let me just expand this out. So x plus 1 squared. So if you expand this out, so we do x squared. And then we go x times 1 is x. And then we double it. So which is 2x. And then we plus the 1 square, which is 1. So therefore, if we expand this one out, we have 1 extra. So compared to this, okay? So therefore, we need to minus 1 out. So just minus 1. And this one here is the same. And the next step is we need to make this into perfect square as well. So we can find the center, okay? So to do this, again, we plus. Now, we have the coefficient of this. So half of negative 2 is negative 1. So that becomes y minus 1 in this case. But if you expand this out, similarly, we will have 1 extra. That is, let's say if we minus 1 square here, and if we expand this out, so we square this, so that means y squared. And then we have y times negative 1 is negative y. And we double it, so minus 2y. And then we plus this 1 square, always, okay? Because negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Then you know that we have 1 extra. So therefore, we just minus the 1 out. Now, we know that this one here are the same. So now, we just write the negative 2 down, okay? This negative 2 here, so just write this down. And is equal to 0, of course. So now we just simplify this first. So let me just write this down. So this is x plus 1 square, and then we write this down first, plus y minus 1 all square. Now we're just simplifying. So negative 1 minus 1 give you negative 2, and then minus 2 give me negative 4. So I just write this down. So minus 4 is equal to 0. So now I just move negative 4 to the right hand side. So that will give me x plus 1 square plus y minus 1 all square is equal to 4. Because negative 4 move on this side becomes positive 4. So now we know the center and the radius. So the center of this C is equal to, because x plus 1 all square, that means it moved horizontally 1 unit to the left. Okay, so which is the center 0, 0, we move 1 to the left, which is negative 1. And then for the y value, so we know that y minus 1 all square, that means it moved up 1 unit. Okay, so this means becomes 1. So the center of this circle is negative 1, 1. And the radius, of course, r square, we have r square is equal to 4. So if I square both sides, so that become r equal plus or minus square root of 4, which is plus or minus 2. But in this case, because it's applications, so it should be positive 2. So r equals, so we just ignore the negative sign because it's application. So the radius is 2. So we just write this 2 down. So now we have the center and the radius. So I just quickly draw it first. and then I just find x and y intercept and I put them together, okay? So let me label this. So this is y and this is x. So now the center is -1, so we move 1 to the left and then move 1 up. So this is here, so -1 here and -1 and 1. Now the radius is 2, so that means we move 2 across. So we have 1, 2, and 1, 2 to the left, 1, 2 up, and then 1, 2 down. So that's it. And then I just join them together. So circle is quite hard to draw, so I do what I can, okay? So we just draw this. And I just draw like that. And we just join this together. And look where the point is, okay? And we just draw them up. There you go. So this is 1. 1 is the center. Now to work out x and y intercept. So to find out x intercept, I just write it down first. X intercept. That means when y equals 0. Okay, so when y equals 0. So I just use this one here. So let me just copy this. So when y is equal to 0, so that means x plus 1 square plus, because 0 minus 1 is -1, square is equal to 4. And then now that becomes x plus 1 square plus 1 is equal to 4. And x plus 1 all square is equal to 4 minus 1 is 3. And then we square root both sides. So x plus 1 is equal to plus or minus root 3. So therefore x is equal to, we move the 1 on that side, becomes -1. So -1 plus or minus root 3. So that is the x-intercept. Of course, I can just put in the calculator, get decimal. So I just leave in exact form. Now we need to find the y-intercepts. That means when x is equal to 0. So when x equals 0. So when x equal to 0, so we know that 0 plus 1 is 1. So that means I just leave this 1 square plus y minus 1 all square is equal to 4. And 1 square is 1. So I move the 1 on that side, becomes 4 minus 1, which is 3. So therefore, y minus 1 square is equal to 3. And then I square root both sides. So y minus 1 equal plus or minus square root of 3. And I move the -1 on the right hand side. So that will give me y is equal to 1 plus or minus square root of 3. So this is the y-intercepts. Now we have x-intercepts, y-intercepts, and center. So let me just go back to the graph and then label them. So x-intercept is -1 minus root 3. So on the negative side, this one here, so -1 minus square root of 3. And this one here, -1 plus square root of 3. Of course, you can use calculator and work it out so you know the decimal, because I just leave in exact form. That's all. So for y-intercepts is 1 minus root 3 and 1 plus root 3. So this one here. So this is a positive. So 1 plus square root of 3. And for this one here is 1 minus square root of 3. So there you go. This is a circle for x squared plus 2x plus y squared minus 2y minus 2 is equal to 0. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How did you go? So let me go through it with you to see if you got it correct. Second one. So first of all, we know that x squared plus y squared equal to r squared. The center is 0, 0, and the radius is r, right? Now to graph this, we need to convert into that form first. In another word, we need to convert this into perfect square. Convert this into perfect square so that we can see the center of the circle. So to convert this, so we half of -6, so which is -3. So that means x minus 3 all square. Now, if I expand this out, it will give me x squared minus 6x plus 9. So therefore, we need to minus 9 out. So the 9 extra. So in another word, I minus 3 square. This 3 square, always, okay? So to minus that, this will give me, these two are the same. So they are equal. That's the whole point, okay? But we know that 3 square is 9. So just write 9 out, okay? And then plus y, then we half of -4. So -4, half that giving me -2. So another word, we minus 2. So all square. Again, if we expand y minus 2 square out, so it give me y square minus 4y plus the 2 square, which is 4. So to make it the same, we need to get rid of the 2 square. So that this one here, this component here are the same. So that's what that meant, okay? And we know that 2 square is 4. So I just write 4, okay? And then this -3, I write this down. So that becomes 0. So now I just simplify this. Now to simplify this, we just write x minus 3. I just copy this out and I copy this out. So plus y minus 2 square and minus. So 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. So minus 16 equal to 0. Otherwise, just use your calculator, okay? Then we move the -16 on the side so that it becomes this form. That's all, okay? So that would give me x minus 3 square plus y minus 2 square equal to 16. Because -16 move on the right hand side becomes positive. So now we can see the center. So x minus 3 all square. So that means it's from origin. Okay, it moved horizontally 3 units to the right. Okay, so that becomes 3. And then for the y value, because it's minus 2, so the origin is moved up 2 units. So which is 2. So this is the center of the circle. So the center of the circle is 3, 2. And the radius, so for the radius, so we know r square is 16. And then square root of 16, we have plus or -4. But because radius, they have to be positive, right? So we just ignore the -1. So 4. So the radius is 4. Now I can either draw the circle first and then find the x and y intercepts and then put the value in, or I can find x and y intercept first and then we do all together, right? So whichever one you like, doesn't really matter. So let's find the x-intercept first. How's that? Okay, to do x-intercept, let me write this down. X-intercepts, which is, it cut the x-axis. So that means at that point, y is equal to 0. Okay, so that's what that meant. So to do this, let me just copy this out. So when y is equal to 0, so this means that this becomes 0. So this becomes x minus 3 square plus -2 square. I just write -2 square here is equal to 16. Then this becomes x minus 3 square plus 4 is equal to 16. So I move the positive 4 on that side, becomes negative. So that would give me 12. So I just write x minus 3 square is equal to 12. And I square root both sides. So x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus square root of 12. Now, 12, of course, you can just use calculator, work it out, but I just write exact, okay? So 12 is 4 times 3. So 12 equal 4 times 3. Then if I square root this side, I need to square root this side as well. So square root 4 is 2. So 2 root 3 to be exact. Okay. So the answer is x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus 2 square root of 3. And the negative 3, we move on that side, becomes positive 3. So that becomes x is equal to 3 plus or minus 2 root 3. So if you're not sure exactly what it is, of course you can use calculator and then just work it out. We'll give you decimal. But I just leave it as for now, okay? Now we need to find the y-intercept. So just write this down. Y-intercept. To find y-intercepts, so we make x equals 0. So when x equal to 0. So this means that this x equals 0. So that becomes negative 3 squared. So negative 3 squared is equal to 9. This means 9 plus y minus 2 all square is equal to 16. So that becomes y minus 2 square is equal to, I move the 9 on that side, becomes 16 minus 9. So 10 minus 9 is 1, and 6 is 7. And then y minus 2, I square root both sides. So that becomes plus or minus square root of 7. And I move the negative 2 on the right hand side, becomes positive. So therefore, y is equal to 2 plus or minus root 7. So I just leave on exact, okay? So of course you can use calculator and work it out to give you decimal so you know exactly where it is on the y-axis, okay? So now I have radius, I have the x-intercepts, y-intercepts. So now I just graph it, okay? So let me just label it first. So this is y, this is x-axis. So we know the center of the circle is 3, 2, and the radius is 4, okay? So I put somewhere there, 3, 2 is here, so 3, 2. And the radius of this circle is 4. So move 1, 2, 3, 4, and we start from center, we move up 1, 2, 3, 4. And from the center, move down 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4 across here. So now we just join these points together. So I just go like this, and then I just join these other points. There you go. So let me just label x and y intercepts first. For the x one, so the positive is 3 plus 2 root 3. And this one here is 3 minus 2 root 3. And for the y-axis, this one here, 2 minus square root of 7. And this one here is 2 plus square root 7. And this is 3. There you go. So this is the circle for. So there you go. So this is the circle for x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 4y minus 3 is equal to 0. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.